Right guys, Mark Crossfield here. I'm here with Phil Kenyon, putting coach, European Tour putting coach. We're going to ask Phil a few questions about what his role is, what he does day in, day out with some of the players here on the European Tour. Let's get stuck in. Right Phil, putting coach, you teach, I mean I've seen you at a few events, tell me what you do. I mean you're travelling around the tour and giving them some putting tips, I think. What goes on for your day to day?
Yeah, basically I just work with a few different guys out here, just looking after or trying to help them with the putting exclusively. So yeah, just trying to focus on that part of the game. Okay,
and so I mean we saw you today, we're at the Portugal Masters, and we tried to get you a lot today, but you just rammed. I mean you look to be helping everyone. Have you got a stable of players, or can players just come up to you and kind of go, look, I'm struggling? How does that kind of work?
Well, basically I have for want of a better word, yeah, stable of players that I work with. So I agree to attend a certain amount of events each year and primarily, look after those players. Okay,
and do you get the odd ones who are just after the old tip and things like that here and there?
The odd guy comes up who's struggling, who's looking for some inspiration.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we saw you doing some work earlier with Aim Point Express, I think.
Yeah.
That's something that you looked like you were teaching one of the players how to use a little bit. Is that correct? What you were doing with that? So you're a certified Aim Point instructor, I presume?
Yeah.
And how are they taking to that? Because we see a bit of it on telly. Adam Scott made it very kind of visible for the normal Joe public out there. How are they taking to that? Are there ones that love it or hate it, or what's the take up with it?
I think the take up's been good. I think it's a good system. It's a simple system, but accurate enough so the guys can still retain some feel. I think it's a little bit easier than the original Aim Point sort of process. So I'd say the response has been good, really, and so I think you're going to see a lot more guys use it, definitely.
That's interesting. Do you think it's going to grow?
I think so, yeah. I think there are a lot of guys starting to sort of pay attention to it, and a few guys now, using it in practice that aren't necessarily, as of yet, using it on the golf course. But I think in a few years' time, I think it'll be a pretty common method of green reading.
It's interesting. It's interesting, because we've got someone who plays in our videos, don't we, Matt, who uses Aim Point, and his putting's hopeless. So I keep contacting Aim Point saying you might want to make sure he doesn't use that product anymore.
Well, you've still got to start it online. Yeah, you've still got to get the right speed.
The speed's key, isn't it, with Aim Point? Because if you're not getting it at distance pass, it doesn't matter that you've got the line, because it's not going to travel on that true line with the speed's wrong, isn't it? It's going to come short or go through the break.
Absolutely. I think that you've got to put the three skills together, start line, speed and read, and as much as we try and sort of separate them at times, they're intrinsically linked, so you need to understand your mix of those three and then be able to manage that.
Fantastic. And then when you're not in sunny Portugal and around the lovely venues throughout the world, helping some of the best players in Europe and across the world, you teach general, ordinary folk. Where are you based in the UK?
We have a studio which is based at Formby Hall Golf Resort, which is near Southport in the northwest of England. So operate from there.
And you've got people just booking lessons like any normal PGA pro. They're just phoning out and booking, but putting specifically putting lessons.
Yeah, just what we focus on.
And one last question then to finish. So how does the normal guy and girl watching down this lens, who are just how do their needs and ideas of putting differ to maybe some of these guys out here? Do you see kind of similar patterns, or they're just the skills here obviously heightened, but is it the same questions? It's the same kind of negativities and positivities in their mind. How do you find from the Joe blogs to the pros you teach? How does it cross over in any way?
I think the pro is more skilled in, I would say, in being able to start his ball online. His techniques of a more reliable standard. You're looking at the more sort of finer points, such as green reading. And aim, and a lot of the time just how they structure their practice, so they're going about the work efficiently and developing the right skills. I think the average club golfer would probably have a few more technical issues, not being able to start the ball online. But I'd say green reading as well, that's a common fault you would see. They're just a bit better out here at everything that they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So but the percentages are smaller, but the gains are bigger, aren't they?
Yeah,
if you can nail those down. So.
And it's interesting that he says about the putting, and we've noticed, Matt, haven't you, there's been lots of intense putting practice methods, tees everywhere. I mean, there was one guy who's got tees, lines, mirrors. I mean, I just wanted to go over and say, look, the hole's just there, mate, come on, I can tap that in. So I'm really getting deep into it, almost too much maybe, or not? I mean, what do you think?
I think there's getting a balance.
Yeah, of course there is.
You know, I think sometimes you can see the guys out here, they do too much drill work, you know, possibly where they're just hitting, you know, put on a straight line all the time rather than maybe building in the skills or just having variety of practice.
Excellent.
But I think the difference between the better players and the guys who are less skilled at club golfing is the guys out here know their patterns a little bit more.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You'll get a range here, but they know their patterns a little bit more, they understand their patterns, so the specific nature of their practice is more geared to kind of, you know, working on their traits. But the average club golfer, you know, rocks up 3 balls, you know, pings one down, oh that was low, I'll hit it here, so
that's
there is more of a process.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point for the guys down the lens there, as in, so what you're saying there is that it's not just, I mean, it is skill based like you say, but if they understood their patterns more, they could then focus their practice a bit more around improving the bad patterns, where these guys know those patterns. They're out here working a bit more on their weaknesses rather than just general putting.
As a whole, in comparison maybe to your more club golfer, then the guys out here will know their patterns more. I think the better guys have a greater understanding and can practice. They structure their practice better. You know, so there's still a range out here.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a sort of like seismic shift when you go off tour to a club golf.
Good stuff. Brilliant. There we go. Thanks for your time.
Great.
When do you leave? When are you? Because we're Wednesday today. We're filming the video. Do you stay for the period of the tournament, or you like the tour tracks clear out when the games starts?
Well, it's a nice venue. It's sunny, so I'm going to leave Friday.
Okay.
If we were back in the UK, I'd be off Wednesday night.
Yeah. So you let them, when the tournament starts, you let them get on and do what they're doing.
Yeah, I'll come down. I'll be here for like warm up. I'll watch a bit on the course, and then be here for sort of like warm down, and then
good stuff. Thanks for your time. Yeah,
no
brilliant. Really good. Check him out.
You.
You want your help with the putting? Everyone needs more help with putting. It's guys like this will definitely knock some serious scores off your game. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.